Hello, welcome in. This is Cleo and I hope you're all doing really well out there. My channel is to help people create the reality of their dreams. So I hope and I know you're in the process of doing that. Thank you for all your support and your likes and your comments and all of that good stuff. I'm going to jump right in because the divine is very eager to get a message across to you. I feel like you're really taking control of your life in a beautiful way. And that's what this message is basically about. Your life is about to move up a frame rate. You know, you've been refining your inner world so much so that your outer reality is about to become magnanimous, jubilant, okay? You're about to zoom through life in this high frequency way. So let's see what's coming out. I did get the Emperor on the pre-shuffle. So this is about you being in charge of your own reality and seeing evidence that you are in charge of your own reality. You know, the Emperor doesn't mean you're necessarily, you know, the boss of something in the world, but it's about being your own boss and being the commander of your own experience. So I feel like you put in some cosmic orders a little while ago and they're coming to fruition now. Let me see. Spirit guides, angels, higher beings, ancestors. Can you show us this message, please? What have we got? Okay, we've got the Seven of Swords here. You've played your hand very carefully, moving into this quadrant I'm getting. It's almost like you've sort of escaped various scenarios that were trying to pull you into situations you didn't belong in throughout your experience. I'm hearing particularly in the last chapter, you know, there are a lot of things for you to dodge. I'm getting karmic things. We're testing you out, you know, trying to grab you just before you hit your mark. But this is you moving into the reality of your dreams. We've got the High Priestess here. So this is all about you having such a beautiful intuition and really being guided by your inner feelings to this positioning. And you will know that there were many tests, you know, many things that if you'd have gotten involved with them, it would have pulled you down the wrong alleyway. Whereas you're, you know, in this grand, beautiful, golden phase of your life. You're on this beautiful golden road in your life. And this High Priestess card lets me know that your instincts are perfect, that you really know how to listen to your spirit guides, that you really understand how to listen to the whispers of the universe. And that's what's gotten you where you are today, because I'm getting that there were huge distractions. You know, you had lots of things that seemed big and loud and distracting, but you held true to your own inner guidance. And that's how, you know, you're making it into this new beautiful phase of life. I'm getting that it's going to feel quite surreal for you because it's going to be so different. It's almost like all of a sudden everything comes together at once for you, you know, and you've been patient and you've been really good at preparing your own personal grid, your own personal reality, and doing your own inner work and, you know, really feeling yourself out and working through anything you had to work through. And now it's like you've gotten past all of the crappy kind of traps and hazards and booby traps and things like that. And you're gonna be flowing with this High Priestess card. You know, you can always rely on your instincts is what I'm getting. And your instincts are higher, they're divine, and they are your greatest gift. I'm getting they are your biggest credit. You know, these beautifully refined, divine instincts of yours have gotten you to this point where if you're watching this video, you know, your life is about to move into the most glorious and yet surreal phase where things are going to be so good. You're going to know that you're living within a dream that you helped create. You know, you're co-creating with the universe and the universe is always responding to you all the time. And it's a tall order. I'm getting that you put in a tall order for this, where, you know, you won't settle for anything less than the best for yourself on your own personal level, you know, and you haven't given in to any of these sort of traps or junctures or manipulative things. You know, maybe people get instincts where they want to kind of hold you back. You didn't give in to that and you sensed it all in a perfect kind of way. I'm getting that your soul is kind of like a magnifying glass where you see things very clearly and other people might not see it as clearly as you. You know, maybe you've noticed your instincts are particularly sharp, very refined and very divinely guided. But you've certainly sort of gotten rid of all the dead weight. You know, you've gotten rid of all the garbage and all the stuff that wasn't meant for you, you know, sticky situations and things that wouldn't have made you happy. And now it's like you're free to move into this happy phase of your life. I'm really unburdened. I'm getting the sense that, you know, you got rid of all the things that were burdening you in the past, or, you know, you made your way away from them instinctively, or you passed this challenge, or you managed to get over this hurdle or through that gate. You know, there's a lot of obstacles that you had to sort of find a way around in your life. And now here you are with your own secret syrup, as you can see. And, you know, I feel like you learned that the only right way to do things is to do things your way. And that everyone, when they anchor in and harness and combine and blend with their higher self, that's what we get when we follow the impulses of our higher self and our own unique blueprint and our own unique divine way. That's what, you know, makes us a petal on the flower of life, you know, and this is your own petal on the flower of life blossoming, you know, moving into a scenario where you're blending at a higher level in the 5-dimensional way or the 5th-dimensional way, or higher, you know, with other sovereign beings, people who have their hearts anchored in. And, you know, your consciousness has been tuned this way. So, you know, when your mind is burdened with various things, you can't really get onto this higher plateau. But because you shifted it all and cleared out the garbage, this is why you're moving into the loot lounge, into the higher vibrational realms of being that only exist within our minds. So now your mind's lovely and clear, and you've sort of tuned yourself in this beautiful way. You're going to find lots of things that match your soul, and your life is taking off. It's zooming forward. You're zooming towards this. The Star card. What's this little sneaky one? The 2 of Cups. Okay. How did you get in there? Naughty. We're going to leave that here because that's very significant here. You know, you're going to be cheersing yourself. You're going to be praising yourself and praising others, and there's going to be lots of mutuality and getting along with people and feeling, you know, the beauty in their souls and the divinity in their souls. And this is your period of time to really shine as the star that you are, and you're going to find your life is golden and glowing, and that every day is shiny the way it was always supposed to be, right? You've made it there. You've made it to the loot lounge of the soul. And everything's attuned for you, your mind, body, your soul. We've got a number 1 on this star card. So putting yourself first has gotten you here. The stars here are very important on her little headscarf here. You know, you're going to be crowned in the glory that you created. So this is really lovely. And you can see here all of her medals that she's collected to get where she is, to bake her life as the perfect pie for her, you know, to bake up the perfect life has taken, you know, some doing. But that's why we know it's a beautiful thing, because we can feel all the things we've come through and feel how beautiful it is. And we just know that there was no other way for us to do it. You know, we just know that all of those little things that happened were happening to strengthen us and to make us better. But not only that, for every challenge we get, we appreciate the beauty of life all the more. So I feel like you're going to be really enjoying this next phase of your life because of these challenges and tests. And, you know, the fact that so many situations tried to trap you, I feel like it taught you the value of your soul and the preciousness of your soul. So let's see what else is coming out here. You're going to find it so easy to just flow with the relationships that are around you, that with the people who are around you, you know, and you're going to feel the etheric realm as well, sort of tickling you and giggling with you and laughing with you, okay? So fairies can mean a lot to you, or higher dimensional beings, that which we call alien, things like that. You're going to feel them with you as you go into this next phase of your life. And, you know, things are going to flow so beautifully for you. And you will feel truly in your heart that joy is a fast moving energy. And because you're joyous, you've kind of found this way to merge in to the top of the pyramid of life. You know, your consciousness is tuned to the top of the pyramid, your soul, your heart, your body. So everything's aligned beautifully. If you were wondering, you know, Spirit is saying, you know, you've done work on every part of yourself to bring yourself into harmony here. And it's absolutely divine. They want you to know it's absolutely divine. Show me. I'm hearing, unfortunately, some people are going to be heartbroken to see you blossoming. So I know that's going to mean something to you with this Seven of Swords, because you're moving away from any pain that others have tried to cause you. You're moving away from scenarios that, you know, would have brought you more pain. And someone or something or some group of people are going to be sorrowful that they couldn't have you, that they couldn't stop you, that their games didn't work here. Okay, so all the pain they tried to put onto you is going to move on to them. And it's going to be worse for them because they're the ones that were trying to do it to you. You know, their karma's going to compound. They're going to feel the weight of their decisions boomerang back at them while you are swanning along on this golden river of heavenliness, you know, your mind being part of this river now, I'm getting, in a gorgeous way. So you're going to know what I mean when I say you've had to tune yourself in so many ways and maybe make sudden shifts in your life that felt kind of different and kind of uncomfortable, but you knew it was the only way for you, you know. Sudden turns, I'm getting, sudden shifts. You've had to be very adaptable and maybe yank yourself out of some scenarios that just weren't for you. Show me. You're going to be lovely and reassured, or lovelily reassured, I'm getting. You're going to be reassured in a lovely way during this next phase that you've made all the right choices, even at times when things felt a bit spooky or a bit strange, or, you know, you weren't quite sure. You're going to know that you made the honorable choices for yourself. Ace of Swords, you know, a nice, clean, gleaming blade, very sharp. As I was saying, your instincts are second to none. You know, you could even be a spokesperson for the divine or something like that. But life is going to be serving you up some lovely, sweet cherry pie. And if that's what you like, or it could be coconut, or it could be red velvet. But your life is going to be as sweet as cake is what I'm getting. And it's because you followed the divine, you know, you followed those higher impulses and, you know, even those yearnings. You knew your desires were directions, you know, your higher desires were really guiding you into place here. And yeah, it's a shame that some people are going to be miserable about that. But if they're miserable about it, then they deserve to be, okay? We only get what we conjure. And you've conjured something really lovely for yourself. And they haven't. Queen of Cups, you follow your heart at all times. And this is about satisfaction in the heart chakra, but also being crowned because you made decisions that were loyal to your heart. And, you know, you couldn't be swayed or swerved or stopped or broken, I'm getting. So I do feel like some people tried to break you here. I really feel like people really tried their best. Certain people, certain miserable beings tried their best to break you or confuse you or play you or mess you around. But it doesn't mean anything because you're a divinity. You're a divine being and you're moving away from all of that. You're moving away from anything that's caused you pain or heartbreak. Show me one more. Six of Pentacles. So you're going to a place where people are generous with you. The universe is generous with you. But also, you know, this is about you being generous with others. And there is a really sweet kind of energy to this reading where I feel like, you know, you've been waiting perhaps, or you've been moving towards your bliss. And now your bliss is here. And I'm getting this message, higher vibrational beings only. You know, no one of this kind of vibration, no one of a lower vibration is allowed to come up to the loot lounge. It's literally like access denied, because your soul has to really be on the frequency of love to get up there. And not only just love, because, you know, plenty of people can love, but you've got to have really sort of done your spiritual work. And, you know, I'm getting that your empathy is off the charts and your intelligence is off the charts, and you're willing to take responsibility for all that you are. And that's what's getting you through this tiny little eye of the needle up to a place, the upper echelons of life spiritually, that very few people often get to. But obviously nowadays people are becoming more aware of, you know, what really matters. Yes, people are becoming really aware of what matters and trying their best. And so we will see more and more people in the loot lounge. But unfortunately, some people that you're walking away from, or a situation you're moving away from, they're done for, I'm getting, because they can't take what they dish out. You know, they can dish it out quick enough. But when it comes to getting a little taste of what they try to put onto others, onto God's divine children. They can't take it back. So unfortunately, I feel like, there's going to be this sense of you going up and the others rolling down the hill. They're slipping down the mud. And I'm getting a reference to Noah's Ark here. Only the heartful can get on the boat. Only those with beautiful, divine, golden, glowing, shimmering hearts can get onto that symbolic boat. And you're one of them. We've got a big yes from the universe. And I feel like you're going to be so exalted. You're going to be excited. You're going to be moved. But you're also going to have this lovely sense of calm where you just know you're in the right place. So there's this lovely calm undertow to this sort of fast-moving, joyous experience that you're going to be moving into now. And Queen of Swords, you're really getting rid of what doesn't work for you at the same time as moving into a phase where everything's going your way and it's going to be absolutely beautiful and blissful. This is your own personal version of heaven on earth because you stayed in your truth. I'm getting the whole truth. So help you God. You've done your absolute best in God's eyes. And, you're being rewarded for that. And you did it in your own personal way. And you've done so much for the universe by following these impulses and by following your own higher self. You've literally expanded the quantum field in new and beauteous ways that will pay off for you, but also for the whole world. So I'm hearing this round of applause here, when I say that. And it's almost like the universe is saluting you for all your good work and for being so heartful and so generous as well at the same time. So the more generous you are, the more the universe really does sort of blossom. So you're helping the universe blossom as you blossom. It's a win-win here. Unfortunately for others, it's a no-no or a lose-lose or a wah-wah-wah, They only get what they deserve at the end of the day. Libran energy, so you're very fair. You could have Libra somewhere prominently in your birth chart, if not as a sun sign. But I am really feeling sort of lovely, blissful sunset energies here, like we can see on this Two of Cups, where you're going to feel this settledness. It's glowing, but there's also a settledness here. So I feel like, you followed your heart all the way to the bank, I'm hearing. So that could be, the bank of love, the bank of finances, or just the bank of life, everything that you imagined or dreamed of. You sent orders out to the universe. Okay, as the magician of my own reality, I want more of. And now all of those things that you imagined and wished for and prayed for, maybe, they've all been lined up beautifully for you. The universe has orchestrated this for you. And, you're ready. I'm getting, things, take a little while to gestate. The universe has to organize all these things for you because the universe wants you to have the best time in the best way. And so all these things have been organized for you in the background. And now you're going into a phase where you can really enjoy them all because we get what we focus on. And you focused on bliss and you focused on truth and you focused on love and you focused on trying to be a good person in a way that benefits you, but also spills out onto others. When you're happy with your life and you've pulled in this invisible golden essence of divinity, it naturally flows out onto other people as well. And I do feel like you're a very considerate person, a very kind person, tough, but very kind and very considerate at the same time. So I do feel like you wanted to make sure that everything you did was a benefit to everyone else as well. And then maybe you heard on my channel or you read somewhere else or you just knew instinctively that when you operate from that higher divine place, everyone benefits automatically. Everyone's happy in the Loot Lounge. We've got Jupiter blessing your life here with that big yes card. And, when we're fair to others, the universe is more than fair to us. And I feel like it's that is key here. You being so fair-hearted is sort of tripling your blessings, doubling your blessings. There's this big multiplicity at work here where you've put out stuff, you're getting it back in a beautiful way. Your life's going to be like a work of art. And you're going to really give people an example of what it is to be in the Loot Lounge of the soul, with your consciousness tuned to that higher plane. You're going to be a great example for others here. And they're going to be wondering how you did it. And all you've got to say to them is, I moved into my higher self. I got to know my higher self and I blended my higher self with my mortal body. And, I feel like you're going to be a great inspiration to people who see you and who love you and who love seeing you being what you are, a real player of the game in a divine way. North Node energy. So you really did follow your own star here with the star card. And it's a lucky star I'm getting. You know, you turned your life into a really lucky and blessed kind of spectacle. You know, everyone's going to see how lucky and blessed you are. Whoever you're around, you're going to uplift them and vice versa. So, you know, they really want to impress upon you that these challenges were part of you following your own map, your own astrological map, and following that North Star, that beautiful star in the sky. But it's the personal star you have in your heart that's gotten you here. And, you know, I don't want to make light of these things, these challenges that you've had. They want me to really impress upon you that these challenges helped you get to where you are. Every time someone challenges us or something happens that feels hard for our soul or hard for our heart, when we recover from it, or we take the bull by the horns and we think, right, I'm going to make it through this, we get more and more powerful, but also the universe sort of feeds us more of that beautiful, bounteous loot. So, you know, these challenges or whatever, these situations, they really helped you to get this loot, to get where you need to be. We all need enemies and we all need obstacles just so we can crush them, you know, and that's what you did spiritually. You've really done well here. We've got the 6th house here, service to others. So I do feel like that's very important to you as well. And they want you to know that just you being yourself is plenty service to others, although you could have a career or something calling out at you. But they want you to know that, you know, thank you for thinking of others. Thank you for thinking of the world, because every thought you have ripples out into the quantum field. And that's why your blessings are so bountiful. We've got bonds coming out on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like you're going to be making some wonderful friends or soul group members. You know, you're going to be bonding with people in a beautiful way, and you're going to be enriching their life and they're going to be enriching yours. There's something about your thinking here with the 6th house, you know, really thinking about others, or knowing instinctively that, you know, part of our work on earth is not just to help ourselves, but to help others in the process of helping ourselves. So I don't know if you're moving into that, or if the universe just wants you to know what a blessing you are by being who you are. Yeah, I'm hearing setting an example to people just by you being you is going to light their hearts on fire and inspire so many. So that's really gorgeous as well. Show me. I'm going to clarify. 6 of Cups with the Queen of Cups. Your heart's fulfillment. Okay, these are soul group members, soulmates, great friends, lovely glasses of wine I'm getting for someone out there. You know, this is you having lovely evenings and a fun, beautiful old time. The 10 of Cups, your heart's wishes becoming manifest. So the picture of your life, you know, the movie of your life is reaching a beautiful pinnacle. And once you're there, that's your new normal. You're going into this gorgeous phase where something you imagined or dreamed of is becoming your true reality. And it's going to move quickly, okay? We're talking hyperspeed here, remember? So, you know, that's you being in the fast lane of life. But once you get used to driving 80 miles an hour, it doesn't feel that fast, does it? So that's how joyous you're going to be. You're going to be moving so quickly here and in such a gorgeous way. The World card, they're saying thank you for completing the major arcana. Thank you for being one of the rare souls who actually show people how it's done. But not only that, they can feel it in your frequency, in your magnetic field. Everywhere you go, you know, you leave an impression on people, even if it's in their subconscious mind. You know, you shift the entire world with your presence in the most beautiful way. And you've achieved this. This is you achieving the full circle of your goals. This is that beautiful reality being made manifest. So I really hope you have a beautiful time, although I know you will. I can feel it in these cards, okay? I love you so much. I hope this reading has helped. Lots of love. Mwah.